Hey everybody, Ryan here. I hope you guys are having a awesome Saturday. So happy beloved Saturday to all of you wonderful and lovely people out there, guys. Let's not waste any time, guys. Welcome back to the channel of Positive Time with Ryan on YouTube. And in tonight's episode, we are going to get back on our monthly topic of Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, guys. And in tonight's topic, we're going to talk about what is a stressor and motive for people to commit suicide or think about suicide. So if you guys don't want to watch this because it will be trigger warning, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to log off. Okay, guys, so at the end of the video, I will have the number for the National Suicide Hotline, but this is a really big topic. Why do people, what is a stressor or a motive for people to commit suicide or think about it and attempt it? So number one, let's talk about what is motive. Motive, right? Motive is a reason. That is like the reason why they do behind it. And then the stressor is something that causes it. So usually, guys, a stressor comes before a motive. Not every time, but sometimes. So I just wanted to explain those two things, guys. The stressor is something that really snaps that person. And then right after usually the stressor, the motive comes into play. And that's like, why? Why do they do it, think about it, attempt it, and all of that? But you know what, guys? It's a really good question that needs to be answered. Why do people have these stressors and these motives, and what leads it to them either committing suicide or attempting it? So a lot of it can be a lot, you know. You got people that most of the time when it comes to a stressor, it's most of the time a loss of someone very close to them. And this can be a pet, a friend, family member, a spouse. It can even be a celebrity. And it's kind of weird people say that. You know, well, it's a celebrity. They weren't close. Really, guys, when there's a major famous celebrity that passes away, that can affect a lot of people, especially a lot of people that were a fan of that celebrity. So it kind of is a really odd one, guys. But it's actually happened with me. When I was in high school, you know, my junior, senior year, guys, there was a celebrity of mine that I loved, and I loved listening to her. And she was in a very tragic accident and all that, and was in the ICU. And for literally a week, it affected my day-to-day life at school to the point my grades went from B's to F's and all that. And it took me a while to actually realize that, you know, I'm not lazy and all that. I'm letting the news get to me. And right when I was about to get out of it, boom, she passed away. And so the good news is I had great psychiatrists and psychologists that were right there for me. And, you know, they looked at me and they said, it may seem weird, but this is really affecting you. And at the time, I was so stubborn. I didn't want to admit it, but it was true. And you know what? I will say, without my psychiatrist and my psychologist, I don't know what would have happened. I would have probably went downhill in a really bad way. But let's get into it, guys. It is true. When someone loses a family member or a really close friend, that, especially if they were really close and all that, or even a pet, that can easily affect someone. It can get them to go down, in a really bad way, and all that. And I just wanted to say, guys, that this may seem wrong to say, but whatever someone's motive or stressor is, please do not judge them. I have to say this a lot, guys. It may not be a big deal for you, but it could be a big deal for them. And you guys got to know that when someone usually has that stressor, that is the big, huge red flag warning, guys. Because when someone usually hits that stressor point, they are on their way to the motive, guys. And you know what? This can happen a couple different ways. It can either be where they start making plans or all that, or they are trying to fight it and all that. Because if you suspect that there is that, if someone doesn't tell you that they're thinking about committing suicide or all that, if they don't tell you but you suspect it, go with your gut. It is okay to talk to them, but remember, guys, whether you're family or a friend, you are not their therapist. And so it's important that you can be a family member and a friend and maybe address the elephant in the room. But it's always a good idea for you to observe, okay? Sometimes you don't have to say it. All you have to do is sit back and watch their behavior. So a really big indicator, guys, is that they can be going through is something simple as isolation. Maybe they're more reserved than they used to. Maybe they used to be a family TV person and they want to be in the room. Now, okay, guys, if they want to be more isolated and reserved, there is nothing wrong with that. Literally at all. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it is also important that you don't just respect their privacy, but you also check in on them, okay? Because you got to remember, giving them privacy is all fine and dandy, but you're also going to give them opportunity, okay? So again, it's important that you let them have their privacy, but you don't just let them in the room, okay? If you guys got to know this, guys, it's going to be very, very uncommon this happens. But if they open up to you that they're going to, they're thinking about suicide and all that, I know that's like a huge, big red flag, but that doesn't mean you need to get them to the hospital. What that really means is that, maybe, like I have said many times, if they tell you that, it's because they feel comfortable saying that to you and they trust you, okay? And sometimes just by them saying, you know what, I'm thinking about committing suicide or attempting it, it's not like that's also a way of them also saying that they want help and they're willing to accept help without them, saying those exact words, okay? And if you're not going to take them to the hospital, what you need to do is make sure that all their sharp objects are locked away. That does include scissors and screwdrivers. Believe me, guys, I don't want to say this, but people can kill themselves using a screwdriver. It is very, very common. It's actually surprising that in 2023, 48% of suicides that were teens in 2023 were used with a screwdriver. So that's important. But also remember, guys, the knives, the saws, even scissors, guys, you got to get that all away. And then you need to get any medication locked up too. And as silly as it includes glue, is common. Because if you understand, guys, if they swallow even a good portion of glue, like this much glue, guys, can actually kill a teenager. This much, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but like this much is a little over half a small container of glue, and it's the ingredients in the glue that would make them very, very sick and kill them. So guys, remember, guys, that it's not just like the sharp objects and the medication, it's also the glue and all that. And I want to strike that out, very important, guys, because people, when they're in that mindset, guys, of they want to end their life, they are capable of using anything. They will use a card to do it. They'll use a magazine, guys. I mean, the thing is, guys, what I did not know is that when someone is in that mind where they want to die because it's that bad, they are incapable of using anything. I mean, it doesn't matter what. Okay, so you guys need to be very observant about that. And what you can do is the easiest way to know and really think about it is to look around the house. Look around and say, what can that do? Even smell it, guys, because I'm going to be very honest with you. It's kind of like this. It's like, have you ever heard the quote that when someone has lost everything, that person has nothing to lose? It's kind of the same, when someone wants to take their own life, guys, it doesn't matter if you lock up all the meds and all the sharp objects. They're so desperate to do it that they will usually get creative. And you guys got to be very cautious of that. But like I have said in previous episodes, if you don't trust that they can be safe, get them to the ER. It is very important I say that, guys, because in the ER, they will be in a psych room. They will have someone out in the room with them, watching them, every movement, no matter what. And, they can try all they want in the ER, but they will not be successful, okay? So I want you guys to just say that. But to get back on track, guys, really, guys, a motive, guys, even bullying can be a big stressor and a motive. When it comes to suicide, a lot of stressors end up being the stressor and the motive. And guys, I want to just get one thing clear, all right? I am not perfect. I've struggled with suicide for over 10 years. And what I was struggling with suicide 10 years ago, I still struggle to this day. But I have learned so much, guys. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I am far from the word perfect. And I will admit that to you guys anytime you want me to. Because when I've been like so in the dumps, I have had my friends, I've had cops, I have had family, I've had doctors, I have had teachers that have sat me down, guys. I actually remember one of my high school teachers, when I got back from the mental hospital, she sat me down and she's like, Ryan, I don't say this to my students a lot, but for the past 11 days you've been in the mental hospital, I went to bed every day and I prayed for you. And when I got to work, I prayed for you. And that showed how much, that teacher cared about me. Guys, I just want to say this, guys, that you can pray for someone to get better and all that, but at the end of the day, you can pray for them all you want, give them all the advice, until they are willing to say, I want help and I'm willing to accept it, then there's not much you can do for them. And that's very important to know, okay? You guys, as sad as it is to say, if someone is wanting to take their own life and they're not willing to accept help, there's very little you can do. And that is so, so sad to say, I know. Because I want you guys to know that please go with your judgment. Go with your gut, okay? Someone may be suicidal and they may say, don't need to go to the ER, but in reality they do, okay? Taking them to the ER is, it is not a punishment. It is to keep them, one thing, safe, okay? And I understand going to the ER is, for suicide and mental health, is never fun, but it is the one place where they will be safe and they will be treated and they will be taken care of. And that's actually the one thing is safe, okay? Safety is always a priority, guys. And sometimes you need to get them to the hospital and you need to leave them there so you can go home and not have to stress and relax. And then you can also know that they are in a safe environment. And as a family member, a spouse, it's the worst thing to say. I know, I understand. But the one thing, guys, and I actually don't know, you know my sister Marta, right? My sister Marta, she has always said to me that no matter how bad it gets, Ryan, no matter what decision you make and how bad it gets, I will never judge you. I will always be there for you. I may not understand why you did what you did, but I will always be there for you. I will always love you no matter what. And she's actually seen me at my best and at my worst. And when I'm at my worst, you know what she does? She will FaceTime me, you know, and she will say that I may be all the way in Italy, but I'm going to make sure that you don't do this. I'm going to make sure that you get safe. And she's like, I'm always going to be here for you. She's like, Ryan, I may be your sister, and there's times that you don't want to even look me in the eye. But she's like, I'm not doing this because I love you. She's like, I'm doing this because she's like, Ryan, you're my older brother. And you know, when I'm going through boyfriend stuff, I'm going to want to talk to you because you're going to be there to comfort me. And she's like, you know, if you're gone and I go through something when I need you, I can't have you. I can't have you there. Okay, she's like, it's not just my job to be there for you, Ryan. She's like, your family. She's like, Ryan, I care about you way more than I care about my best friends. And this is my sister saying this, okay? And you know what, guys? The one thing is my sister is part of my YouTube team. And there were times that she's like, Ryan, I don't think you need to do a video today because you're not in your right mindset. And I don't want you to go do your YouTube job and make a mistake. Because you know what, guys? That's the other thing, okay? I'm so dedicated to what I do for you guys. And I love making videos for you guys. But sometimes my sister, my younger sister, Marta, love you. She has to say, Ryan, listen to me, okay? So I know you did a video tonight or you're scheduled, but you're not in your right mindset, guys. And you know what? It's funny how the mind works because, you know, it's not one of those things that you could say that you would recognize the sign, but when you're in that episode, you cannot see it. So I'm just using my sister Marta as an example because you know what, guys? She's one of the few people I have that don't judge me no matter how crazy it gets. You know, my sister Marta, every time she's around me, she hugs me goodnight. She hugs me goodnight because you know what? She's like, Ryan, you may have autism, you may have disabilities and all that, but she's like, you know what? She's like, people don't have to understand your disabilities. Because she's like, you know what? She's like, I will always be there for you. She's like, I will be there no matter if your girlfriend is there for you or not. And that's the thing, guys. My girlfriend does not have any disabilities, and she literally looks at me and she's like, Ryan, you are the one thing that gets me out of bed in the morning and motivates me to go to work and all that. So Nicole, I love you. You're the love of my life, but thank you. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry that I'm going on and on and on, but it's really important, guys, to know that really anything can be a stressor and a motive for someone that wants to take their own life, guys. And I know I've said this a lot and I need to say it. Just remember, guys, that no matter how bad something gets for you, at the end of the day, your life is worth it, okay? I understand that it's one of those things that is easier said than done, especially with me. And there were times that I have to listen to my own girlfriend and my own brother and my own sister literally a million times a day say, Ryan, you're worth it. But like, that's the thing, guys. You know, most of my family have judged me, actually, with my mental health. I have literally been suicidal, and I've had family members look at me and say, I want nothing to do with you, because if you can't be this way, I can't be with you. And guys, I'll share that story, because when my own family member told me that to my face, by the way, I'll tell you that story at the end of the month, because it's something that you guys need to hear. And literally, guys, that family member has apologized to me, and I want nothing to do with them. Because, like, who would ever say that to their own blood and own family? I mean, really. Okay, guys, again, I think tomorrow, guys, I'm going to talk about what happens when you go to the ER for suicide and what is the process. So we're going to talk about that in tomorrow's episode. I will try to keep tomorrow's episode shorter than 2 nights, guys. And then right at the end of this video, guys, I'm going to leave the National Suicide Hotline number. That is 24/7 for calling or texting. So I'm going to leave that down below, guys, because that is a very important number for you guys. All right, guys, that is all I have for you guys on Positive Time with Ryan. I hope you guys are having a great, lovely Saturday. Happy Saturday, by the way, guys. If there's anything you guys want me to explain more or talk a little bit about more regarding suicide, please let me know, because sometimes it's hard for me to think about it. Of what to talk about. But again, at the end of the month, guys, I will be sharing my journey. And that's going to be probably a few days of episodes, if not a week. I'm going to try to keep it under a week. But when I know the dates of it, I will definitely let you guys know. But I'm going to try to keep tomorrow's episode shorter. But again, tomorrow, guys, we're just going to talk about what the process at the ER for suicide would look like. Because I've been through that so many times, and I don't like it.